I'm happy to have in studio with me today from the Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. It's Program Development Lead, Seth Elsen. Morning, Seth.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Staying busy.
So I can only imagine. We've got some things to talk about, some things wrapping up, but how was it up at the Theller Center over this past weekend with the storms, and does that impact a lot of the stuff you guys are doing?
Luckily, it didn't impact us too much. You know, we had to do some preparations around the farm. We've got a big high tunnel, which allows us to extend our growing season for a lot of our locally grown organic produce, and so we had to do a little bit of preparation there to weigh it down and wrap up the sides and things like that, and we had a little bit of debris cleanup, but
Sure.
all in all, not too bad.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Salmon trapping just ended, and how was the season, and what is the salmon trapping program?
Yeah, so just to kind of refresh people who maybe haven't heard about it, each year since 2000, we've been trapping hood canal summer chum, which are an ESA endangered species listed fish that are threatened. And so our effort has kind of been to trap them. For a while, we were spawning them to help rebuild the population on the Union. We then started using those fish to repopulate the Tahuya River, and we were able to build both runs up from about maybe 1 to 100 fish annually to in the thousands. So on the Union, we usually average 1,500 to 2,000. On the Tahuya, we've been seeing about 700 to 1,000 each year, and so it's grown quite a bit. On the Tahuya, they were actually considered recently extinct, so to the point where they had zero fish coming back for multiple years in the late 90s. And so... all in that said, right now we're just trapping now. All of our supplementation has ended, and so we just are collecting data still to continue to evaluate the effectiveness of the program. And so this year we had 3,512 fish come back, which was an 11-year high. So,
wow.
Really good year, especially for those who follow our trap and check the numbers each year as they're driving by there on North Shore Road outside of Belfair. It's a really great high after last year's drought and things like that. So really encouraging.
So you were taking some of the fish, you said, from the Union River and then moving them to the Tahuya River.
Yeah.
Does that change kind of their makeup, their DNA? Because aren't they kind of, well, they're bred in a specific river? Yeah,
so it definitely does a little bit, but what was cool about our program and some of the others that are out there is that it really minimizes the genetic issues. So one of the big problems we have with hatcheries is that often fish are taken from one river and then supplemented to another river and they're not similar in any way. So, for instance, you may have Chambers Creek. It's a really popular strain of steelhead over in Pierce County, and those might be supplemented on a river that has a completely different gradient and things like that. And so geologically, geographically, those things are not similar. But with the Union and Tahuya River, they're so close, they're so similar in a lot of their characteristics that it's similar enough that it doesn't really have as big of an impact.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're looking into those things as far as what the gradients are, water temps, the habitat makeup, everything like that. So
you said you had a record high number. Why?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. There's a lot of different things that go into that. What we first look at is kind of the out-migrating years. So a lot of these fish have been out for about 3 to 4 years, and so that would tell us about 3 to 4 years ago we had a good out-migrating year in the Union for juvenile fish. We'd also like to think that the restoration we did on the Union River estuary helped a lot. All the different types of salmon, especially summer chum, utilized the estuary for quite a while, and so it would sound like they're finding food sources and finding good refuge and able to kind of survive that part. And in Hood Canal, with some of the different fish species, we have some marine survivability issues, especially with steelhead and things like that. And so estuaries are really helpful in just kind of helping to get them along and grow up big and grow up fast. And so it seems like that seems to be working. So
I think we talked last month about people gathering at fish stations to see the salmon start to come back. And I've seen reports that they're closer now into the streams, and so they should start showing up there. A lot of people, I saw some video coming out of where was it? I think it was South Puget Sound Community College. They have a little creek in their area, and they've got fish come back for the first time in a long time. So where are some of the best places that we can see them up close like this? Yeah,
there's a lot of really good places around our area to see returning coho, and then here shortly fall chum. So some of the big popular places would be Kennedy Creek. They've got a really great fish trail that's kind of helped run by one of our counterparts, the South Puget Sound Salmon Enhancement Group. Johns Creek here just outside of Shelton is a really good river for fall chum. a good creek. The Skokomish is always good. And then if you're up on the north end, the Union River continues to be good for seeing these fish. We still have some coho coming up that we've seen the last few days. And as the water kind of gets back to normal after the intense amount of rainfall we had the last couple of days, we'll start to see those. And Mission Creek over by Belfair State Park is another good one where the fall chum just stack up, and so really easy to see, get close. And
so this is kind of at the end of a lot of these folks' life cycles here. So they're going to be spawning, and if you're out there on these streams and close up to them, you want to make sure people are red aware. What does that mean?
Yeah, so right now we're just, each year we try to do a little bit of outreach around this time. So we'd love to get people out seeing fish. It's really exciting, and we want to build their interest, but at the same time we want to make sure everyone's doing it responsibly and just kind of keeping an eye out. And so a red, for those who don't know, is a deposit of female eggs. So a female lays about 500 to 1,000 eggs in each red, and overall will lay a couple thousand eggs. And a lot of those won't survive naturally, and so it's really important that we do what we can to protect the eggs there. So as people are walking the stream, we just ask them to look for a red. And so an easy way to kind of tell it is if you're looking at the gravel in a riverbed and you see kind of a fresh scour, it's a little bit lighter colored, it means that it's been disturbed, and that likely means it's a red. And so just trying to watch for those and walk around. And occasionally the State Department of Fish and Wildlife has people out on the streams, and they'll flag reds to kind of help. But obviously there's many more reds than there is manpower. And so we just ask that everyone kind of do their part and just keep an eye out as you're out on the stream, either fishing for coho or just walking around, just trying to see the fish, and just keep an eye on it.
So you're putting the wraps up this past weekend. What's next? I mean, are you guys done now for the fall and into the winter, or things just keep progressing?
They keep progressing. So even though our summer chum trapping's finished up, we're going to be, each year we assist the Department of Fish and Wildlife in doing carcass surveys for fall chum. And so as they come back, we'll be out on the stream still for a while. We've got a lot of stuff growing in our high tunnel. We've still got squash, we've got some tomatoes, all sorts of different things, chard, kale. So it just doesn't stop, and we always need help still with office things. That's one of the big things is as these projects all wrap up, we've got all this data to enter, and so we're always looking for volunteers there as well. So
how can people volunteer?
They can volunteer by giving me a call at 360-275-3575. You can also head to our website, pnwsalmoncenter.org, and we've got our volunteer opportunities, and my email and contact info is up there as well.
All right, Seth Elsen, Program Development Lead for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group in the Salmon Center in Belfair. It's always nice talking with you.
Good to see you. Thanks again.
And we'll check in about a month or so.
Sounds good.